Hello, we're Betty and Lewis Walker, and this is our favorite memory of Greenwood First Baptist Church. When Betty and I were investigating the possibilities of starting a senior adult choir, we received the blessings of the ministers, then visited the various senior adult Sunday school classes. My first visit to the different classes, I got a lot of I can't carry a tune in the bucket. So during the week, I headed to the Dollar Tree, bought a bunch of kids' sand buckets with shovels, duplicated copies of Amazing Grace, and put the songs into the buckets. The next Sunday class visit, I made my rounds with a large plastic garbage bag. When greeted with, I can't carry a tune in the bucket, I merely reached into the bag, pulled out a bucket with its tune, and said, bring this with you Wednesday. 4 of the 5 buckets were brought to choir, and 7 years later, until illness or the pandemic shut us down, all 4 of those have been active singers in Sounds of Grace.
My favorite church memory is Rise Against Hunger because it's fun and I'm with all my friends and everybody in the church and my church family, and I'm like knowing that all the food will go to a good cause and people who are hungry.
As a member of First Baptist Church, which was located downtown, I have a wonderful memory of riding in hay rides out to the Greenwood State Park. Miss Sunbeam Andrews and Elizabeth Moss would be our chaperones. We'd get in the back of the truck and laugh and talk and tell jokes, and when we got out there, we'd roast weenies, have a wonderful time, best hot dogs I've ever eaten. Then we'd get back in the truck, and on a crisp autumn night, we'd snuggle down in the hay and sing all the way back home. And I had a wonderful memory of that experience.
Hi, my name is Russell Dorn, and like so many others, I grew up in First Baptist Church. For me, it's impossible to pick one favorite memory because there's just so many, from lock-ins to mission trips to service projects to leadership opportunities and mentors, people that I still call friends to this day. I'm just so appreciative of everything that First Baptist Church provided to me. So happy anniversary, 150 looks great on you. Everyone be safe, and I hope to see you soon.
I have 2 special memories, one that Ken and I both share. After 25 years, we decided to renew our vows so that our families could be here for that special time. And they all came, and it was a very special day for both of us. The second memory I have is from childhood when Bill Treadwell was a youth pastor here, and we had many programs about the different religions. And they were very special to me because when I got to Erskine, I knew a little bit more about different religions than I did before then. So that was very special to me.
Hey, big shout out to the First Baptist Church. Just wanted to tell you that I love you so much and I'm so appreciative for everything this church has meant to me through my lifetime. The music programs of the church alone provided such a nurturing and supportive environment for an artistic kid, and it's a place where I can come home and sing with my father, my brother, and I don't know where I would have been without the spiritual foundation that the First Baptist Church provided me growing up. So many thanks, and here's to another 150 years.
One time in Cheerful Cherubs, we made tie-dye shirts, and that was fun.
We're the Batsons. Our most recent favorite memory at First Baptist Church was when all of our kids were dedicated.
This is my memory of First Baptist Church. I've been a member of the choir ever since I was about 16 years old. And once during a practice for Edgar Davis and his way of singing, I was practicing the solo in the middle of it while everybody else was resting. And when I started singing, some dog in the back of the church felt like he sure ought to add to the festivities, so he started singing. And the louder I would sing, the louder he would yell. So everybody got a big laugh out of that, and especially the leaders of the choir.
My name is Sharon Wilbright, and I have 2 special memories from First Baptist Church. The first one is The Christmas Eve services. I have never been in a church that did that, and I found it very moving. The second one is my Sunday school class, and I love my Sunday school class. I love the socials that we have and the fact that we have bonded so closely. Thank you.
My name is Keith Jameson. I grew up at First Baptist Church of Greenwood. Two of my favorite memories are the midnight services on Christmas Eve, and also I starred as Joseph in The Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat when I was a teenager, and we did the production in the Fellowship Hall with Dr. Jane Boland directing. It's one of my favorite memories here at First Baptist.
I love First Baptist Church because of the youth group. I love going on trips with the youth, like Awanata and Passport, and I really like the friends that I've made through church.
Hi, I'm Coyanne Gray Lee. My fondest memory of growing up in Greenwood First Baptist Church was spending summers at Camp in the Oaks in Black Mountain, North Carolina. It was an especially fun time when our minister, Dr. Jim Bowers, would join us there for the week.
One memory out of many is when Gamble, Rock, and I got married on December 18th, 1971 in the then newly finished sanctuary. I believe we were the second couple to get married in the church. Dr. James A. Bowers was minister and he married us.
I can remember that during the reception, I went up and I gave him the gratuity for marrying us, and he told me to keep it and to carry Nancy out to supper. And so we went to the Peddler Steakhouse up in Greenville, South Carolina, and the bill came back and it was more than the gratuity that I offered him. And I just on many times thought to tell him that he still owed us the difference between what I was going to give him and what our bill was, but I never did. But that was sort of hilarious.
Many years later, both of our children would be married in the same sanctuary by Bill Harris. So thank you, First Baptist, for all the memories.
I remember when my husband Curtis and I united with Greenwood First Baptist Church in June 1965. The compelling beauty and worship of the chancel choir causing me to yearn to become a part of this group, and for 55 years the music ministry and church librarianship here have been an integral part of my life. I remember when daughters Dana and Mary Van were baptized in our chapel by Dr. James Bowers, and then later the dedication service also by Dr. Bowers for the Graham Shaw Library. I remember when both daughters and then granddaughter Kelly were married in our beautiful sanctuary. I remember when we celebrated Curtis's life in a memorial service in this sanctuary on June 22, 2015. For 55 years, my family and spiritual life has revolved around these sacred stones. Thanks be to God.
I'm Corey Gray. I have fond memories of 54 years of teaching and sharing stories with members of the Carpenter Sunday School class.
Hi, I'm Barbara Flack Dorn. I have attended First Baptist for nearly 61 years. My best childhood memories involve Sunday school, GAs, choirs, church camps, and winter retreats. For most of my younger life, camps were led by Bill Treadwell along with some help from Dr. Bowers, affectionately known as Dr. B. Bill was a great Bible teacher who used a grease pencil on chart paper to illustrate what he was teaching. These experiences shaped my early love for First Baptist. As an adult, many things have enhanced my life. I love Sunday morning worship at First Baptist. All four pastors that have served our church since I came have influenced me in different ways. The Sojourner Sunday School class has been my constant support for many years. Many of us have been together through babies, illnesses, surgeries, deaths, and so forth. The Rosemary Benjamin Circle has been very important for many years too. I get much joy from the chancel choir and Sounds of Grace. I truly believe that being involved is vital to my church life. Thank you, First Baptist. Happy 150th anniversary.
Well, one of my favorite memories was last year, the youth went on a tubing trip up in North Carolina, and poor Greg plan it, but we went during a nice thunderstorm where he lost the keys. So after he lost the keys, I had to climb up on top of the youth bus, do a little spy shimmy across it, to then drop in like James Bond, to then let everybody else in to get their dry clothes. Afterwards, had to call up Tony for instead of an anniversary with his wife, he got to come up and spend it with us a little bit. We got to eat pizza, drive back down, then we had a little bit of car sickness, some people throwing up, just great times in general, just making a lot of memories in one trip.
I have so many memories here at this church and so many milestones of my life that are very important to me. I joined this church, the very first church I joined. I was baptized here. I got married here, which is something that I will always hold close to my heart. Our first child was dedicated here. This church is just a very huge statement in my life, and it means so much to me.
I'm Joanne Gray. I have memories attending Christmas Eve services with Dr. B, walking out at midnight, hearing the church bells. Awesome. And attending 4th of July services with Dr. Albert Adams, organist, playing the national anthem. Awesome.
My favorite thing about this church is knowing how much I am loved and prayed for, and I am so thankful for everything this church has done to invest in my life.
Hi, I'm Laurie Cohn. My favorite First Baptist memory is the midnight Christmas Eve service. The service always started at 11 and we had lovely music and beautiful decorations. Tom Chandler always sang, "What Strangers Are These?" and we lit the final Advent candle. The final hymn was Silent Night and we passed lighted candles. When the service was over, usually it was clear and cold outside and Christmas Day was here.
Hello, we're Norman and Karen Callison-Woodward. I grew up in First Baptist Church. Some of the earliest memories that I have are at the corner of Main and Bailey Circle. Can you believe that? But of special meaning to me was our music. Mr. Edgar Davis, the then choir director, allowed this young teen to participate with the adult choir, and I loved it. The beautiful music for our services, music that touched our hearts and our faith. Norman?
My precious memory is when Karen and I got married in the church 31 years ago. As a result, many great memories.
Wonderful memories. Wherever life has taken us, we have cherished our home at First Baptist Church.
My memories of First Baptist include many, so I'll try just to list the favorite. The fact that when Mike and I got married, he felt so comfortable being a Methodist boy and being able to join. The fact that both my children were baptized at First Baptist. The Christmas Eve service when all the lights start coming down on Silent Night and it's nothing but the candles. And then when you walk out and hear the church bells on a cold Christmas Eve night.
My favorite thing about Greenwood First Baptist is the youth group. It's always fun to go to the grind on Wednesday nights and joke around with my friends, but it's also nice to have in-depth conversations about our lives as Christians.
When I think about Greenwood First Baptist, I remember this beautiful sanctuary. The cross as its clear focal point, the gorgeous stained glass windows. But during the pandemic, I've been reminded that what makes worship special here is not the room, but rather the people who gather here because of their common faith in Jesus Christ. And in obedience to Jesus, they love well. I don't know how many times I've gone to visit someone who was sick or grieving or in distress, and they've said to me, I feel overwhelmed by the love and support I've received from our church family. They will always remember that, and so will I.
One of the memories of my church that I am most proud of is the fact that on this Senior Adult Sunday, there were so many former people that molded our youth lives. And I can remember going to In the Oaks camp every summer, and what a special time that was. And I can also remember the traditions of our church and the fact that I was always taught that God was a God of grace and love. Thank you very much.
I'm Shelby Dominic Reed, and as someone who grew up here at First Baptist, I have many favorite memories from days in children's ministry to being baptized in this church. We were married in this church, and our children were all dedicated to the church here at First Baptist. When I think about my most favorite memories, they truly are from times in the youth group. Whether it was First Baptist dances where the fellowship hall was full of 300 or 400 students, having a good time together, or 1 a.m. and all the lights out in our more than 66,000 square feet of church running around playing sardines. Those are memories that will be with me forever and were quite formative in my Christian education.
My favorite memory of First Baptist Church is when I went to the youth group. Everyone made me feel welcome and was really nice to me. Since then, I've met a lot of great people, and I think I fit in pretty well.
One of my proudest moments at First Baptist was I was not yet a member of the chancel choir. So I did a production of My Fair Lady with the Greenwood Community Theater. Dr. Ken Lister was our minister of music. He was in the audience. That Sunday after he saw the performance, he comes to me, he said, I've heard you sing. You will be a member of the chancel choir, and choir rehearsal will be at 6:30 Wednesday night. See you then.
My name is Summers Hallberg Reed. My favorite memory is learning from this church.
I have three most favorite memories of our church. The first one is that Tommy and I were married here in 1981, and I wouldn't trade that for anything in the world, even all these years later. My second memory is the Christmas Eve services that I've treasured for all the years we've been here. The only time we've ever missed them is when we had young children and they couldn't come with us. My third favorite memory is our children and our son-in-law being baptized here, Katie, Thomas, and Chip.
My favorite church memory is going to Awanata with the youth group.
Hi, I'm Jason Reed, and my favorite First Baptist memory is of the children's dedications to the church.
One of my favorite memories over the years is singing in the community version of the Messiah for several years with my father and my brothers. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Linda Jackson, and my favorite memories at First Baptist Church. Back in 1967, my husband Rich and I were married at First Baptist Church, a wonderful day. And then we were blessed with three beautiful daughters, Dana, Catherine, and Charlotte, and they were raised in the church and were baptized in the church by Dr. Bill Harris. And time passes, and all three of the girls were married at First Baptist. And somewhere in these years, I taught kindergarten, first grade for 23 years, and Richard held many positions as well. And lastly, in July 2019, Richard passed away, and Dr. Tony Hopkins did the beautiful funeral service. Thanks be to God for these wonderful memories.
My favorite memory by far is working with children, and I would say the 2 summers that I chaperoned at Camp Prism are my favorite memories.
My favorite memory of First Baptist Church is having Cliff Fagan invite me to come to the carpenter class And for Jackie and me, that was a great memory of 17 years.
When our family first came here in January of 1972, and I sat in that beautiful church, I knew that was the place that I needed to be. And we have been here ever since and loving every single moment. Thank you.
Favorite memory at First Baptist